Hey guys, Steve Welch here, Beaman Toyota again. I had a couple people that asked me some questions here, so I wanted to give you my opinion on something, and I wanted to let you know that it's 100% my opinion. It's not coming from anybody else, of course. But the question is about turbos. And I realize that you can have turbos on a truck, on a car, on diesels, on gas. There's a lot of different ways that you can have turbos, but is a turbo better, or is it worse, or is it just the same? Now, like I said, I'm giving you my opinion here. I think that turbos are a problem. The reason that I think that is going to be pretty well, I'm going to try to line it out for us here so that I'm accurate and that I'm not leading you wrong. But here's my thought process into the turbo issue. You've got a lot of manufacturers that are trying to hit fuel standards. They're trying to hit emission standards. They're trying to hit a lot of things that the government is pushing to try to get done. And don't get me wrong, if you can make 50 or 100 miles a gallon, that'd be great. Technology is really not there yet, so they're trying to find ways to get there. So you got different ways to get there. You can go hybrid. You can add a turbo. You can do a few other things. Maybe all electric, something like that, to try to help get to those CAFE standards. That being said, turbo is one of the ways that people are going. Like Toyota loves hybrids, and I am a huge fan of the hybrid just because of the extra power that you have, the low end torque you have. There's a lot of things that you don't have, but I'll save the hybrid for a different video. I've actually got one out about answering common questions about the hybrid. But so here's my issues with the turbo. They're putting like Honda has a 1.5 liter turbo that they're putting into their CRVs. I believe Civic's got it. The Accord has it, from what I understand. Here's the issue that I see with turbos. They're, number one, they're a smaller engine, and you're putting a massive amount of heat and pressure into a smaller engine. That's going to start to cause problems. You're going to have, anytime that you add heat and you have pressure into an engine, it's going to make it not last as long. So these haven't been out that long, so you haven't heard a lot of the things where the car isn't lasting as long, because they're not getting there yet. I mean, they've only been out for a couple years in a lot of these manufacturers, and it's really just, let's see what happens. Most of your the turbo engines, you're going to be rebuilding them at 100,000 miles or less. So all right, maybe if you lease it, you don't keep it that long, maybe you get rid of it, okay, so be it. But there's still other issues with the turbo that I personally don't like. So I've got a few notes that I'm going to kind of refer to, so if you see me looking down, you know why I'm doing it. But so basically, giving you, what is a turbo? A turbo uses your exhaust gas to spin a turbine. That turbine, what it does is it actually, for lack of a better way to put it, pressurizes the air that's coming into the intake. So the air comes into the intake at a faster speed. You get more air, mixes with more fuel, causes that extra horsepower out of the engine. Like I said, you're adding heat, you're adding pressure. So you're doing a couple things to that engine, and then you put back pressure on the engine because it's coming through the turbo too. So that's the other thing that you're doing. But so definitely, that's kind of in a nutshell. I'm not trying to go all technical or anything like that on how the turbo works, but that's kind of in a nutshell how it works. I like to equate it to, it kind of works a lot like a jet engine, because it's a turbine. But I'll get into that here in just a little bit, because I have something that I want to, kind of reference that with. But so one of the main things that's a problem is the extra maintenance. Most like Toyotas, you can go with synthetic oil, you can go a 10,000 mile oil change. The vehicles that have the turbos are smaller engines. They're, like I said, they're less forgiving on somebody that might not do their maintenance on time. So if you're not somebody that is, OCD on, I'm doing my maintenance every 3,000 or 5,000 miles on my car, you could have some issues with that turbo. So that's definitely one of them. You know, you're going to add maintenance costs. You add parts to it. Anytime you add parts, you're adding maintenance costs to those parts. So, you know, if a turbo goes out, you're talking thousands of dollars in some cases. So maybe these small ones, maybe they'll only cost, you know, $800 or $900. But you're still, if it goes out, you're causing a problem. The engine won't run right without it. So if it's meant to be on there, you need to have it on there. So realize you're adding parts, you're adding something that can fail and something that's kind of prone to failure. It's always on. It's not like your air conditioner where you turn it on once in a while. It's always running anytime the car's on. So you're getting all that more strain on your internal components, all that stuff like I was talking about. So the harder an engine works, the faster it's going to wear out. It's, you know, physics, right? It's pretty easy. So now something else that most times you're not getting told is that you should really run premium fuel in a turbo engine. Reason for that, you can have knock, things like that come up. Like I said, I'm not trying to get technical. I'm just trying to talk to you in a conversation to kind of give you my opinion. But you will look at all the fuel ratings and things like that, and they'll talk about like your Mulroney sticker has to say that, you know, over the course of a year you'll spend $1,383 in fuel on this vehicle if you drive on average, I think it's 1,300 miles that they figure. 1,300 miles per month or 13,000 miles per year, something like that. But they have a number on your Mulroney sticker that says how much you're going to drive. So, or how much, you know, it's going to cost you. So if you put, regular fuel in there, you're going to start to have issues with the engine. So you've got to go to premium. The other thing that happens is that premium fuel, you get like, you know, so you're going to spend more on premium fuel and you get less fuel economy on premium fuel. So just overall, it's just kind of how it works. So, like I said, if you guys disagree with me and you want to, feel free to put comments down there. I'm gonna respond to you. Like I said, it's all my opinion, and based off some research, of course, but it's all my opinion. So, anyway, you're something else. You're also going to be more complicated to work on a turbo. So, if you have a mechanic, I've been a mechanic for years. I've not really got into maintenance of the turbos. So it's something that I'm not familiar with fixing it, but I can definitely tell you about some issues with it. So one other thing that you'll have is something called turbo lag. Turbo lag is basically, I can explain it this way. You step on the gas and it's delayed. So you're trying to get on the highway and you step on the gas, you get an initial push, and then you've got a lag in power because it's trying to build up that turbine. It's trying to build up the speed. So if you're trying to build up all of that, then you're not getting on the highway the way that you might really need to, and you're killing your efficiency while you're doing it. So that's one of the things that's really bad with turbo lag. So this kind of gets back to the jet engine. So if you are trying to get on the highway, you know, think about you're sitting, you're heading wherever you're heading, and you push that, the pilot pushes the throttles forward on that jet engine. You can start to hear them, what's known as spooling up. So it starts to, go faster, and you get that shh, and it just, you hear that pitch start to go up in that. You don't have immediate power because you've got to spool up that turbine. It's kind of the same idea, for lack of a better way to put it, but you're hitting the gas, you're hitting it hard, you're trying to go, and there's just this lag there. So it's just, like I said, it's all my opinion, but I've had a couple people ask me turbo, non-turbo. It's just, I just don't like the turbo idea. I understand why it's there. I know why people are doing it, and I also know there's issues with it. It's just, it's kind of more or less, I think, is a stopgap, because turbo's been around a long time. People understand it, and manufacturers, stuff like that, they could put it in their cars. Hybrid's not been around as long for most manufacturers. Toyota's had it for 20 years, but and Toyota spearheaded it. And the hybrid, like I said, check out my other video on understanding the hybrid, but the hybrid is going to be so much better for you to do the same, to get the gas mileage you need to be more reliable and all of that. There's less parts on a hybrid than what there are in even a regular car, let alone a turbo car. So when it comes down to it, I'd much rather go with a hybrid than a turbo. But I'm just trying to answer the question that you guys have. So turbo, hybrid, regular, you make the choice. Oh, one other thing too, you're also going to have issues towing with a turbo. I know Ford does the turbos. I know that a lot of manufacturers put them in trucks. In trucks, it can be a little bit different, but you're still using the same principles. It's still, everything that I said is still accurate. So basically what I'm just trying to say is, I'd prefer to go hybrid on everything, or stick with the gas. If you're towing something, do a 6-cylinder or an 8-cylinder. Try to stay away from the turbos. I just don't see it ending well. I see there's going to be a lot of vehicles in just a short amount of time that are going to have, people are going to be trading them in or getting rid of them or just trashing them because they're, and keep in mind, we're talking about certain vehicles here. So if they don't have the value, they don't have the value. But there's gonna be a lot of people that are getting rid of vehicles in very short order just because the turbo is going to cause so many problems that, rather than rebuilding the entire engine, changing the turbo, rebuilding it, putting everything back in there and spending $8-9 grand on doing it, you're just going to say, well, let me just get rid of this car, get my $500 out of it, and go ahead and get my next car. And it's going to kind of be the microwave idea, where microwave goes out, most people don't fix it anymore. You throw it away and go get a new one. Dishwasher breaks, you don't fix it, you throw it away and go get a new one. These cars with these turbos, I just have a sneaking suspicion it's going to end up doing the same thing. So but let me know what you think. Put your comments in the bottom there. Like, subscribe. Definitely happy to answer any questions for you. Steve Welch, Beeman Toyota, downtown Nashville. Let me know what you think of my opinion. Hope you guys enjoy it. Definitely appreciate everybody out there. You guys have a great day.